So now that we have completed the definitions of all the YAML configuration files, let us test our app locally on Minikube. Once everything runs well and good, then let us proceed to deploy the same app onto the GCP Kubernetes. Okay. So for us to test our app locally on Minikube, first we need to start our Minikube. But previously we have used Docker, for which we have enabled the virtualization platform and Windows hypervisor platform. So we need to disable those and restart our system for us to be able to use the Minikube. Okay, to disable those, we should first go to the control panel in the Windows search. So in the control panel, go to programs and turn Windows features on and off. So in this pop-up, we should disable these Windows Windows hypervisor platform and virtual machine platform, and okay. So this might take some time, and after that we will be asked to restart the machine. So make sure that you have saved all the changes you have made to your code and any other things, because you're going to restart after this thing is done. Okay. So now I will click on restart. So after restarting, let us start our Minikube. Minikube start -driver equals virtual box. Okay. So this might take some time. It seems to be done now. Okay. So it also said add-ons enabled are all this along with ingress. So if at all this didn't happen to you, you can enable that using Minikube add-ons enable ingress. Okay. So it's done. Okay. So now let me go to the project folder. It is in my documents and user wishlist app and K8s. So under this K8s, if I do dir, I will be able to see all these YAML configuration files. Correct. So now I will want to apply all these configuration files. So I will just do kubectl apply -f period, indicating whatever the YAML files are present in the current directory. The current directory is K8s of this. Whatever the YAML files are present in this current directory, I want all this to be applied to form the Kubernetes resources. Okay. Okay, so it shows unknown field selector, missing required field selector. Okay, so it says error validating data, validation error of deployment, unknown field selector in deployment, apps v1 deployment, and validation error for deployment spec, missing required field selector. Okay, so it says that this selector is missing in deployment specs, and this selector of deployment is unknown. So I guess it's maybe due to some misplacement of selector section inside the deployment rather than being it in the specs. Okay, so let us check where this selector is. So this selector comes under the deployment, but it should actually come under the specs of deployment. Okay, so if we quickly so even if we quickly go for the document deployment spec documentation Kubernetes, click on this, I will be able to see some examples in the documentation, right? So this is of apps v1 version and the deployment. So under the spec, this selector is written, right? But the mistake in our case is that we have written it outside the spec. Okay. So I will minimize the screen, right? So it is in the same level, but it should be inside this. Okay, so I will just move this inside so that it is in the inside the spec and under the same level as replicas and templates. Fine. Now I'm going to save this and I'm going to apply again. Okay. So I can do kubectl apply -f web deployment. Okay, so it says, let us check our web deployment again. So we are asking to component wishlist app container, but we don't want to match the container, but only the component, this one, right? So this is the mistake here. Save it. Now again, let us apply this. Now it's fine, right? So this is the way we debug the mistakes too. Okay, so we also need to understand how to face the problem and how to solve that. Okay, all right. So let us see all the kubectl resources. Get services. So these three services are defined, right? Postgres service, Redis service, and web service. Let us see the deployments. Get deployments. All are ready, right? And get ingress. Let us see PVC. Persistent volume claim. This is the name. This is the volume bound to that, and capacity 1 GB. All right, so everything we have defined. And kubectl ingress. Okay. And then secrets. Okay, so this is the one which we have used previously, right? So now the next step is to check it's working by entering this IP address into the browser so that we can reach our application. Okay, so if you remember, when we have used something like Minikube example in the Sublime text editor of the ingress, in the ingress resource file, here, we didn't mention any host. That means we are leaving the host to be anything, right? So in that case, we don't need to map our IP address to that domain name. Okay, so we can directly use this. So copy this and go to incognito mode. So Control Shift and Control Shift N for incognito mode. Okay, so there seems to be some error with our application. Okay, so now let us go to command line and try to fix this error. Like first try to find the error, find the mistake. So first let us check if all of our pods are ready or not. Okay, kubectl get pods. Okay, so it says this deployment is facing some error, right? So let us see what's wrong with that. So let us check the logs of that, or let us check, let us describe it. kubectl logs, this pod name, this is the pod name, okay? So it says error from server, bad request, container Postgres in pod. This one is waiting to start. So this pod is not yet started, right? So let us describe this, okay? So to describe means we will get the details of how it started, how it's formed and all, okay? Describe pod, kubectl describe pod and pod name. This is one, this is the pod name, okay? Copy that and paste it. So here in the events, it shows successfully assigned this deployment to Minikube. Error secret PG password not found. And this image is already present in the container. on the machine. Okay, so let us focus on this. So if you observe, we have written the secret name to be wrong, pg password. So if we get the secrets, kubectl get secrets, the one which we have created is pg password, password, but here we have written it to be passwword. Okay, so now let us go ahead and correct that mistake in the Postgres deployment file. So this is my Postgres deployment file. Let us find where it is. pg pass here. Okay, so now I'm going to write password. Okay, and save it now and go back to command line. Now we will again apply that Postgres deployment file because we have made a change to that, right? kubectl apply -f Postgres deployment .yaml file. So it's configured now. Now let us see if all the pods are okay. All right, so it shows it's running now, right? So now let us again go to get ingress, kubectl get ingress, so that we can get this. All right, and yeah, now let us go to the incognito mode and try with this. Still we get some error. So let us try to get what is the mistake and let us try to fix that. So first, let us check if all the pods are up and running. kubectl get pods. So pods are all up and running. Okay, and then let us check the logs of each pod so that if we have any mistake, we will get to know that. Okay, so kubectl to check the logs of a pod, we will write kubectl logs and the pod name. Here Postgres deployment pod name is this. Hit enter. So everything seems to be fine, right? Database system is ready to accept connections. Everything is fine. Okay, so there is nothing suspicious, right? So again, let us go to check the Redis pod now. So Postgres pod seems to be okay. Now let us check Redis pod. So it also seems to be fine because there is nothing suspicious that is visible to me because ready to accept connections. Next, let us check the web deployment, first pod of the web deployment. This one, pasting it. Okay, there seems to be some problem. Okay, so here it says database Flask, hello Flask DB does not exist. Okay, so if you remember, this is something which we have configured in our as environment variables in our web deployment.yaml file, right? So let us check the YAML file of both web deployment and the Postgres deployment YAML file because the Postgres DB name of the web deployment and the Postgres deployment both should be matched. Then only the connection will be established error-free. Okay. So now go to Sublime Text Editor and open the project. So in the Postgres deployment YAML file, I have used the Postgres DB to be hello Flask DEV. Okay. And in the web deployment file, the Postgres DB is hello Flask DB. So here you can pick them, you can notice the difference, right? So it is hello Flask DB in web deployment file and hello Flask DEV in Postgres. So let us only choose one. So let that be hello Flask DB only. So I'm copying it from web deployment file and pasting the same to be in the Postgres deployment. I'm pasting it here, save it, save it. Now in the command line, I will again apply I will again apply the configurations of the Postgres deployment file because we have made a change to the Postgres DB environment variable. Okay, kubectl apply -f Postgres deployment YAML. Okay, so now let us again check the pods. So now let us check the pods, and now let us check the logs. Kubectl logs of this web deployment. Okay, so there seems to be nothing harmful. Okay, there seems to be something harmful. So now let us go to the incognito mode and try the connection again. I'm refreshing this page. So let us get the pods, kubectl get pods. Let us get the services also. Okay, and let us get the ingress. Okay, so copy this, paste it here. Still the same error. Okay. So let us again go to the logs, kubectl get pods, and kubectl logs, the pod name. Let us check the web deployment. Okay, so it shows database HelloFlask DB does not exist. Okay, okay, so let us try to delete all the configuration files. Kubectl delete -f period. So it will delete all the Kubernetes objects which are formed based on the YAML files of this folder. Okay, so hit on enter. So it shows deleted, everything is getting deleted, right? Okay, so it's everything is deleted. So now let us freshly apply everything. First, let us check if there are any running pods which are still terminating. Okay, everything seems to be clear. Now let us apply freshly again. Kubectl apply -f. So everything has created now. Now let us check the pods. Everything is running. Let us check the services. Fine. Ingress. Fine. So I'm copying this, pasting in the incognito mode. Yes, now it's fine, right? So if you observe carefully, we have encountered with a lot of issues, and uh, checking all these issues in the production is not advisable. So we should be very sure that our application is running flawlessly and it is ready for deployment before actually deploying it into the production. That is the use of Minikube. So I guess you will be able to appreciate the use of Minikube because it is helping us to identify all the errors that we could potentially face when the app is in the production, right? So I will first see the keys if there are anything existing. So since this we have deployed it right now, there is nothing from the database, right? So I will create something here, something like this. Okay, save. So it shows successfully saved data for this user and the with the details this, right? So now when I have entered some data, it will be stored in the database, and it will also be stored in the Redis cache, because it is a caching tool, right? So when I click on keys, we will extract the keys from the database. But when I want to search the details of this user here, we expect that to come from Redis, right? Because we have just now created that, and it will be simultaneously saved in Redis and also in Postgres. Okay, so now if I simultaneously now if I again try to uh, enter the details for the same user again, we should face an error, or we should be getting a disclaimer that the user already exists. Correct? User already exists with this wish list, and it is from the Redis. Okay, so it is running as expected. So since our app is running as expected on Minikube, let us proceed to deploy this app on the Kubernetes. For that, let us first push all this code onto GitHub, and then pull it from the GCP console, create a Kubernetes cluster there, and deploy there. Okay.